Alright, we're down here in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin this morning. Heading across the river into Iowa. Go over to Marquette and McGregor. Got a kind of an interesting day planned out. We're going to continue the Overlooks of the Mississippi series. Starting out with Pikes Peak State Park. That's not Colorado, that's the Iowa side down here. Overlooks the confluence of the Wisconsin and Mississippi rivers. So there's a nice overlook there. Kind of a waterfall they call Bridaldale Falls. I don't think it's too spectacular, but probably worth a look. And eventually up to Lansing and Mount Hosmer. Mount Hosmer is another overlook. It's above Lansing with some switchbacks going up the bluff right out of town. It'll be interesting. And another 450-foot overview of the Mississippi. So come on along for the ride. Down to the left there, we got the Casino Queen. The main channel of the Mississippi River. Nice look back at the bridge there, crossing into Marquette. Always like these roads where you have a bluff on one side and the river on the other. Historic town of McGregor. Definitely looks like some historic buildings here. Some have some dates on them, 1857. Cool little town. Wind our way up the hill out of McGregor here. We've got about 2 miles to the Pikes Peak State Park. Pikes Peak State Park. I was nice enough not to charge an entry fee to come in here, so that's pretty awesome. I also don't totally mind it because you feel like you're supporting something that's pretty cool that we all share as a public resource. So. What a cool reveal here at Pikes Peak State Park. Let's go up here and check out the view. Down the river to the south. Again, we have the Wisconsin River across there. Some people fishing off the main channel down there. And look back up towards Prairie du Chien upriver. Bridge we came across a little bit ago. Pretty awesome stuff. It's another one of the lookouts here at Pikes Peak State Park. Across on the other side, above the Wisconsin River there, is Wyalusing State Park. So this afternoon, we'll go up there and check that one out. Yeah, another one of the overlooks here at Pikes Peak. This one's called the Crow's Nest. This is Bridal Veil Falls. Maybe Bridal Veil Trickle today, but it'll be pretty cool after a heavy rain. I bet you she's kind of raging off here a little bit. This water is on its way to the Gulf of Mexico. So Pikes Peak was enjoyable. A few nice overlooks. And enjoyed the views off there. And perfect. Seems like fall day, but still August. Another week or so to go in August here. Yeah, coming down the hill. Next up, we're going to head back through McGregor and Marquette and up the road a little bit to the Effigy Mounds. This is a national monument. There are over 200 mounds in this area. Again, some spiritual, ceremonial, and some burial mounds, I believe. There are 31 different animal shapes are represented in these mounds as well. So, I've been there once long ago, so we'll go check it out. All along just north of Marquette, Iowa. Again, kind of between the cliffs and the river here. A couple miles up to the Effigy Mountains, so not getting a lot of saddle time in this morning, but kind of the idea to check out some sights today. Before the day's over, we'll get a couple hundred miles under our belt and see some awesome sights. Here at the Effigy Mounds, this is a national monument run by the National Park Service. Free to enter and pretty cool historical spot, so definitely worth checking out. This is the Effigy Mounds Visitor Center. The museum in there, a little bit of history. Very nicely done. The first three Effigy Mounds. The three mounds requiring the least amount of hike from the visitor center. And our trusty steeds await. Let's ride them. We're off to Lansing and Mount Hosmer next. Little switchbacks up to a beautiful overlook with no hiking. All right, dropping off 76. I think this road is called A52, but goes from the top of the hill and winds 19 miles down to Lansing. So I'm not sure we've ever been on this. So, gonna see what's around each curve. So this road is a driftless scenic byway. As we come down into Lansing in a little while here, there is the Driftless Visitor Center. That's an awesome stop. We actually stopped there last year. Very interesting for, obviously, somebody that's into the Driftless region and has a Driftless YouTube channel. I found it particularly interesting. A little correction from earlier. This is the X52. Still working our way north towards Lansing. Just kind of winds and up and down over the bluffs. And pretty road. So there's the Driftless Visitor Center on the left. Again, definitely a worthy stop if you've never been there. Lots of good information about the Driftless. Beautiful view up the river to the old Blackhawk Bridge. The thing's been open and closed on and off again this summer while they try and assess the safety of it. The construction of a new bridge is underway, but I'm guessing that's a couple years before we'll have a new bridge up, the best case scenario. Somebody's cooking fried chicken here, and man, does it smell good. I'll wind up the hill to Mount Hosmer City Park. Oh, steep little road. Making our way up the road to Mount Hosmer Park here. Well, look at the view of the bridge here. What a beautiful little park up here. The road getting up a little treacherous. Standing up here on Mount Hosmer. It's actually a city park just above Lansing, Iowa. But pretty spectacular views from up here. But as far as this overlooking 240,000 acres of national wildlife and fish refuge managed by the U.S. Department of Wildlife. This whole Mississippi River Valley is amazing that way in terms of the wildlife that it supports and the flyway for a lot of migratory birds. Pretty amazing stuff. It's a nice view of the old Blackhawk Bridge there, and the new bridge construction certainly underway. A lot of history with that old bridge and its metal grates. But look at that view downriver. Let's work our way down the hill here. Good hill to do in first or second gear. Well, she's pretty steep and pretty tight. Some traffic on it. Yeah, this is a little off-camber one coming up the hill there. If you're stuck to the inside, that is steep. Downhill, not so bad. Away we go. We're going to take a little loop over towards Waukon. And then back towards Marquette. All in all, a great morning. Pikes Peak was probably the state park there was the highlight of the morning. Beautiful. Mount Hosmer had some beautiful views here. So 2 overlooks I'd definitely recommend. The river valley from Lansing here. Some road I didn't memorize the number of, but just big winding sweepers. Kind of fun. We'll put the road number on the video later. On Highway 76, dropping back down in towards Marquette. I'm gonna go back to McGregor. There was a big buoy or something, a float basically, that looked like an interesting place to grab some lunch, and then we'll go do a loop on the Wisconsin side this afternoon. So if you're watching this video, check that one out next. It'll include the views from Wyalusing State Park and a stop at Potosi Brewery.